So I was saying that we're starting just a new adventure. The other one was way too complex, and it'll take too long to recap and just try to get all the clues. And it was going to be at least one more session worth of investigation. So maybe at some later date we can get back to it. But for now, I figured this is it's a good opportunity to just start a fresh game, right? Because it's been so long. So. By now, the four of you have, working relationship with both the Army Defense intelligence branches of the United States and intelligence branches of the United Kingdom, right? In the previous adventure, you helped obtain asylum, so to speak, for Professor Rookwood, and it's not really asylum because he just moved from the UK to the United States, but this is because the Nazis were like gunning for him, so they figured if they put the Atlantic Ocean in the middle, it might be a bit safer. So he's in hiding in Boston, under supervision of the U.S. Defense Department, and So you guys are also in Boston at this time, and you are contacted by the U.S. Defense Department and informed that you are needed for a mission. I was going to start arriving at your destination, in medias res, having said that you have accepted this mission. And I guess we could do that. So our adventure starts in the northern coast of Australia, in the relatively small town of Darwin. It is the largest city in the northern coast, in the Northern Territories. And you guys are getting off a plane, all four of you. We have Emilio. I forget his last name. Emilio Maria
Estevez. Farmer. It's
Farmer. That's right. It's a very eclectic.
It's a homage to Jose Maria Farmer, which I think is the author of Riverworld.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. Nice. And we have Private Investigator Joe Decker, and we have Coy
Ford, no relation.
Corey Ford, no relation. That's right. And JD, I forgot JD's last name. Cahill. You guys find yourself here in Darwin after the U.S. Department contacted you because they required your services in a hurry. The fastest method of travel was just take a plane across the states and then across to Hawaii, and making several stops along the way, but it was the fastest, most direct route to get you to Darwin. And the reason for the hurry is that MI6, British intelligence, has been keeping tabs on a German scientist, a biologist and historian named Dr. Leopold Kleinemann. Kleinemann is known to have, is suspected to be a high member of Thule Society, with which you have tangled before. And so he was under surveillance by MI6. Anyway, he was at a conference in Paris, and he was suddenly taken from the conference by a contingent of what MI6 knows to be Nazi operatives, right? Part of the SS. They took him from the conference. They put him on a Zeppelin, and the spies within the keeping tabs on the professor overheard that he is headed to Darwin, Australia, to take part in some sort of auction. That's the only information they obtained at the time. The intelligence services, talk to each other, right? The U.S. and U.K. talk to each other. They investigated the matter and found that there is indeed an auction for an Australian wealthy landowner by the name of Jack Ferguson, who is known to own some mining gold mines in the region of the North Territories of Australia, and he is holding some sort of auction in Darwin, which is the biggest city. He doesn't live in Darwin; he lives, farther south, but it's the closest place. Apparently, he is auctioning off some items. As far as he can tell, it's items belonging to a deceased relative, or maybe he's getting rid of part of his personal collection. But anyway, that's the problem. Intelligence isn't exactly sure why the Nazis are of a sudden so interested in this, and why they pulled this biologist and historian from this conference and shipped him off to Darwin to deal with this. So your mission here, your task is to determine what Dr. Kleineman is after, what item he's after, and take whatever action may be needed to find out the significance of whatever it is that he's going to this auction for, procure the item if he wants, or in some manner, just try to thwart whatever plans. If the Thule Society is interested in this thing, then it behooves the Allied forces to at least be aware of what's going on.
Excuse me, Eloy. Who's the auctioneer again?
The auctioneer is a wealthy Australian landowner named Jack Ferguson.
Mm-hmm. Jack Ferguson, that's what I meant.
And you have a contact from MI6 in Australia, who's obviously moved to Darwin to ahead of you to start snooping around. His name is James Walker. So that's your local MI6 contact, should you need it. So you got on the next plane out of Boston, and you find yourself a couple of days later, in time for the auction. It's supposed to be this very day. I think you arrive in the morning at the local airport, and this is what you have.
And the auction itself is still at the guy's mansion, or is it like a...
It's here in Darwin, in the city. There's like I don't know. They're renting a space.
Okay, so it's not at his mansion. It maybe like a gentleman's club or a
exactly
or a theater or something.
Some sort of a private club, and it's renting out the facilities to conduct this auction. There are some wealthy people who have been invited previously. It's just that intelligence wasn't keeping tabs on everything that was around, and you had to scramble to get there in time. You have been given an account, so you do have money for expenses if you need it.
That's refreshing.
Yep.
And I think were there I presume advertisements for this auction made? Has anyone tracked those down, like in magazines or something to that effect?
Yes. Okay. That's a good point. So, yes, it details a series of items that include, like antique furniture, pieces of art, and mentions like various items, and provides a phone number, or I don't know how that would work in this telephone or something. It provides an address to get more information if you want to on the items that are going to be up for sale. And the auction is anticipated to start at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, just after lunch. There is a hotel.
There's always a hotel.
There's always a hotel. This is not the biggest city in Australia. It's rather small, but it is the biggest one in the part of the country. And it seems obvious that the reason that this place has been chosen is because it lies closest to Ferguson's estates. So whatever he's transporting from his estates, this is the closest place to take it to, right? If shipping it to somewhere else would be too expensive, so that's why he organized the auction here.
All right, so you do okay there, not flying there, Flyboy?
It's
You feel a little nervous not being at the wheel?
I can't say it's my favorite kind of flying, but it wasn't the worst. I tell you, sir, that's an awful lot of paperwork you had on that plane.
Yeah, no, that's true. You gotta do your research. We gotta find this Jimmy Walker. Let me tell you. You know what makes the guy's dynamite. So let me tell you. You know what makes riding a plane when you're flying easier?
Jimmy Walker, finding Jimmy Walker.
No, his brother Johnny, but Scotch.
Completely subconscious, I guess. So
we gotta find this. We gotta find this Jimmy Walker. Where were we supposed to meet him? You remember there, Kenny?
He's supposed to pick you up. He's picking you up at the end.
Oh, he's picking. Oh, good. I did that.
So does it look like anyone has traveled by air preceding us? Any fancy aircraft?
Of course, there's got to be a Zeppelin, right? At the there's got to be a Zeppelin with a big Nazi flag on the back. Yeah, it's almost expected by now. Okay. Actually, I guess you saw it when we were coming in for a landing.
Mm-hmm.
See a section of the airport detailed for blimps, right? So you saw this Zeppelin with the swastika. It was rather painfully obvious that it's here, and you do know that they put Kahneman on a Zeppelin, so this is probably him.
What do you see there, Doc? Professor, what are you looking at there?
I'm just remarking that I believe that our quarry has already arrived. It would seem.
Oh yeah, I can see that. Does that guy Moakir ever talk? Kind of gives me the creeps. He's always just next to you.
Be a big no. Yeah.
I didn't a manservant myself, but anyhow.
Moakir is insistent that he wants his pronunciation to be immaculate when he does begin speaking in our languages, because in his tribe there's a severe and difficult punishment which is assessed to anyone who mispronounces certain important words. I've chosen not to argue the subject with him.
Well, I have to say that I agree with that, because it's a punishment every time Mr. Decker here screws up the English language. So I do appreciate Mr. Maher.
You both must be married to my related to my second wife. What do you say, fellas? Sick of being on this plane.
Yeah.
Speaking of, yeah. Oh no, I'm just curious to do as we're kind of debarking. Is there any smaller craft that perhaps Koi might I don't know. I'm developing a certain interest in modern aircraft. Is there perhaps an auto gyro around, or is it just what kind of aircraft are there?
I think there are small planes mostly.
Okay.
It is unusual to have like transcontinental flights. This apparently being some sort of exception made. Uh, Again, it's not the largest city. You should expect like flights from Sydney or Melbourne, the other big regions, right? Big cities.
Well, naturally, I mean, anyone who can afford to buy any of this would be able to afford to charter their own plane, I'm sure.
A lot of these wealthy folk like traveling by cruise ship too.
I'll tell you what, I don't understand that business. It's too damn slow for me.
All right,
But,
boys, let's go find it.
I was gonna say, speaking of slow, let's get on with it. Let's get after this.
Let us be on our way to the hotel and take in the sights.
So at the airport, where you pick up your luggage, there is this gentleman, dressed like in the local fashion, nothing too fancy, and he has this, little sign, expecting Mr. Cahill, I suppose, is the most legitimate member of the most affiliated with the Defense Department, right? So they put it on.
No, it's legitimate.
All right, so JD heads over to him and says, "You Walker?"
Yes, Mr. Cahill. Shake your
Cahill.
hand. And well, let us arrange. Is your luggage over here?
Yeah, we'll grab it. That's Farmer Ford and Decker.
It's
It sounds like a legal firm from Iowa.
Yeah. Farmer, Decker, and Ford. So, you pick up the luggage, you get in the car, and he says, I suppose you've noticed the large Zeppelin in the airport.
It's kind of
No,
hard to
I
miss.
hadn't noticed that.
Missed it.
Well, Kleineman arrived yesterday. Since then, there has been a lot of activity at the region near the Zeppelin. They seem
Activity?
to be, yes, they seem to be hiring and
Hiring.
not hiring, like trying to rent or purchase as many vehicles as they can.
Oh dear.
Yes, they've like I see they already have 8 trucks and cars clustered, next to the Zeppelin, and there seem to be quite a few German soldiers at the area. And I don't know, they seem to be going out of their way to get vehicles. I suspect, they obviously moving somewhere else after the
I find this
auction.
unsettling.
It doesn't
I'm sure.
make sense.
I'm sure the local troops, the local armed forces, even if it's unobtrusively, but
Yes, of course. I mean, the people doing the renting and the buying of the vehicles are going in civilian dress, right? We know they're Nazi soldiers, but they only have a few uniformed guards posted around the perimeter of the ship. The ones who actually go into the city are wearing civilian dress, but we all know that means nothing.
Well, what do they need all these cars and trucks for? I mean, how much stuff could there possibly be at this auction? He's not going to want to load them up full of furniture.
I doubt it. Yeah, I doubt it. I
think we must acknowledge the possibility that after they have concluded their work at the auction, that they intend to embark somewhere inland.
Yes, yes. Maybe this is some sort of precaution or some sort of standard thing that they do. But I mean, Ferguson only brought a single truck and his car.
This
So
seems
it's-
conspicuous.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
is there any other odd activity happening, around these parts? Any stories from the locals that seem just like a little far fetched?
uh, um, not around here in Darwin. There are rumors that Ferguson is auctioning some strange stuff. I mean, they mentioned a couple of old portraits, some old furniture, a desk, um, a grandfather clock. And then there's some weird stuff like they mentioned, like a giant emu egg, and I think he's
How
selling some
giant?
riding gear. Uh, about I don't know, about twice the size of an emu egg, which is like I don't
Huh.
know, like 8, 9 inches. I think. I think the largest emu eggs go for like or something.
And then
And
what else was on after the the egg, the big
emu.
bird egg?
It's like a big chicken there, Cole.
Yeah, it's
Big chicken.
I think he made claims that it's like a rare dodo bird egg, but it makes no sense whatsoever. Um, and I don't know. Desk, grandfather clock. It's supposed to be some materials from. Uh, he used to have like his father used to have in his house, and he's looking to get rid of it. He is a rich guy, but I guess
He taking
they're always
visitors
looking
before
for
this
more.
auction or no?
Excuse me. Say again.
Is he taking any visitors before this auction? Is he willing to talk to potential buyers?
No, I don't think so. I mean, he'll be around there. I mean, I'm pretty sure and he looks at the clock. He'll be there like at lunch. He'll have an early lunch and be at the hall.
Is it today?
Yeah,
The
it's
auction?
today. It's
We gotta get a
we
move
still
on.
have a few hours. I mean, we can get you to the hotel, and then you should, get yourselves ready for the auction, and try and find out what the hell he's looking for.
The rumors for the auction, for the stuff they're auctioning, anything that sounds like your Alistair Crowley would get excited about?
No. MI6 did ask me to be on the lookout for any strange books or stuff like that. As far as I understand it, the desk itself is empty. It's not like there's anything in the drawers. The grandfather clock, there's no collection of old books or any stuff like that. I mean, so far it seems like a bunch of furniture, some works of art. There are some portraits and stuff, and that's about it.
So we got a bunch of Nazis coming to Darwin, Australia for a garage sale. That tells you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Some.
They ain't
something
exactly
is-
super bright.
So, how long do we have as we're riding whatever conveyance is taking us into town? How long do we have until the auction? Is it tomorrow? Are we staying in the hotel and then the auction is tomorrow, or?
No, I'm just staying in the hotel. The auction is today. It's today at 1 p.m. Let's call it 9:30 a.m. By the time you get to the hotel and get yourself settled in.
All right. I'm going to call it the library. You gentlemen see to the normal hotel activities, which I'm sure will preoccupy us. If you have need of me, telephone the library, and I'm sure that they will be able to find my way to the telephone. I intend to find out more about the cellar.
Normal hotel activities like that.
That's normal for us, man, right?
You have fun there, Professor.
Yeah, don't.
I always do anytime that I visit a library, and
I have no doubt of that.
I intend to take advantage of the privacy. It shall be quite valued after such a long excursion in an aircraft.
Yes. Oh, I should mention I believe MI6 mentioned this before, but in case not, your cover is you are a delegation from Oxford University, so you're here to bid on whatever items of historical significance there might be, or and there is an account that has been arranged. It's not limitless, but you are instructed to use your best discretion and see about this.
Oh, okay, we're in trouble. Which one of these jokers are we going to actually have be the front man?
I don't think I look like an Oxford or sound like an investigator. Farmer,
No,
I guess, is the closest.
Oh, man, I got too much Chicago in me. I got way too much Chicago in me, and Flyboy, forget it. He's, once he says y'all, the jig is going to be up, so.
I hate to bring. There seems to be a fair amount of oil money that goes around, so I think it wouldn't be the worst idea.
In Oxford?
Hey,
You ever notice something, fellas? Every time we go to a hotel, Farmer takes a different freaking route. It seems to be a pattern that's going on.
I suppose, says Walker. I suppose you could say you're delegates from Harvard. I don't think there'll be much checking of backgrounds as we go into this auction.
You got a Harvard tie I could borrow?
Do you guys hear my 11-year-old singing? I guess she's feeling better.
I don't hear anything over the frogs.
Oh, okay, good. The frogs are just...
You know what? I've actually gotten it to where I almost didn't hear the frogs tonight.
Oh, nice. It's a skill.
I may be able to finagle the audio. Hold on, this is an opportunity.
Oh no, I love the frogs. I love the
Frog
frogs.
filter.
No, don't filter out the frogs. The frogs are the best part.
It's the
They're the
ambience.
best part. It's absolutely. It's like playing with a noise, like playing with the frogs and swords. If you ever have a channel, it should be called
It's
Frogs and Swords.
And swords. That's nice. That's nice. We don't even hear them. I mean, we block them out. Now that you point them out, I'm hearing them.
Yeah, I think they're awesome.
I think it's wow. Well, now we're gonna have to do a quotois adventure.
Nice. Bullywugs. I'll put in bullywugs from
And Slad.
and Slab
anyhow.
from the Fiend
Anyhow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway, back
anyhow.
to this.
Going to the hotel while the professor's going to the library.
Right. So, it's a nice hotel. You do manage to see, wealthy appearing people of different nationalities. So I suppose the word has gone around to certain wealthy collectors, and they've traveled this far for the auction. Some are local, of course, but yeah, there's a bunch of people here, and Emilio, I guess Walker drives Emilio to the local library, and it's not the biggest library. It's a small city, but there's a.
I intend to only peruse the newspapers. And just kind of get records from that, and I'll just go with that. It's just newspapers for now.
All right.
I can't.
Is there anything in specific that you're looking for?
I just want to know about this guy. Where did he come from? When did he how did he get his claim for this gold mine? When did he move here? I'm sure there's probably there might be an article about when he built his mansion or whatever. I'd like to know is there any public information about the size of what's left in the mine? Where's the vein at? Gold mines also go exceptionally deep, and that's on my mind too. Is there anything special about this gold mine? That's that.
All right. So, you actually find out that Darwin's not Darwin's. Ferguson's place is pretty far. It takes a few days to get there. It's almost it's 900 miles from Darwin to Alice Springs, and
Yeah.
it's a town farther south. And Ferguson's estate is actually at Alice Spring. His family has been around here for a long time. It's been at least 2 generations. It's an old house. There was a gold rush, area of Alice Spring, and his family came a long time ago and staked out part of the territory, and they've been around for quite a while. There's not a lot of information locally about him in the papers, right? Only that he's coming over for the auction. Yeah, I don't think there's too much information other than Alice Spring. It's a gold mine, and it seems to be the deal that maybe one of his I don't know, maybe his relative died and he's like getting rid of some old stuff. He's not. Well, no, I guess that's all they would say. That he's announced this sale of antiques, right? And rare antiques, and there are some names of paintings by famous painters, and you anticipate that this would draw art collectors and such, right? So it's antique stuff. It's a couple of 100 years old, maybe. So this is why so many people have gathered for, apparently.
In the meantime, we got a room in this hotel.
Yeah, you got a couple of rooms.
It's amazing. We don't have to break into them or nothing, guys.
Yeah, it's the first time. It's the first time you arrived at a fancy hotel and there's no dead bodies in any of the rooms.
Not yet. Not yet.
Not yet. Yeah.
Stay young, fellas.
You're feeling pretty good, right?
Yeah, the night is still young.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about though. I mean, I'm still worried about Farmer there. You actually you ain't such a bad actor, are you there, Flyboy?
I've got my talents, sir. I think I could play off a couple things here or there. I pulled off that bellboy pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, nothing says you have to arrive in single delegation from, right? It could be, you could be Amelia from Oxford and you guys like Southern Tycoon or something.
Oh,
So,
yeah, I'm sure Mr. Decker passed off as Southern for about as quick as I'd pass off as Australian.
No, I'm thinking maybe while you guys are bidding on the stuff, I can kind of look around. I'm a lot better at that. I don't want to draw any attention to myself. I'd rather kind of watch all the people, if you know what I mean. You, on the other hand, I think you make a good ham.
I do make a pretty mean ham, thank you very much. My grandmother talks about it every time she comes over for Thanksgiving.
I'm going to the bar. I've got to unwind a little bit before this. I am going to go to the hotel bar just briefly.
Nice.
Cahill obviously checks his 45, makes sure it's in his shoulder hustle, and then joins Decker at the bar.
All right.
So
nothing much of interest passes in the next few hours. So unless you have any further preparations, do you guys want to move ahead to the auction? Or?
No, if we really don't have any kind of list of what the items are, then it's really kind of nothing I can really investigate here. I got to watch the people. I got to see what's going on.
Well, you do determine that some rather wealthy out-of-towners here, including people from other parts of Australia, Sydney, Melbourne, and, other points. Maybe there's some French couple, and some out of towners.
Yeah, just looking at all the people, in the hotel itself, and I'm gonna try to do the same thing at the auction. But like right now, I'm just really kind of trying to get a read on them. If there's anybody that looks just a little bit out of place, if anybody looks a little suspicious, kind of very empathetically trying to get a read on these people.
I see what you mean, but fact is that from what you can tell, everybody seems to be here for a legitimate reason. You don't see any Germans, or you don't see any funny-looking people in the lobby trying to look around. Everybody seems to be in their place. Everybody seems to be minding their own business. So everything seems in order. As noon approaches, lunch. A lot of these people have lunch here in the hotel, and early lunches. They go back to their rooms and start coming down as the time approaches in finer looking clothes and hats and whatnot, and appropriate apparel, and start taking taxis to you presume the auction. So by this time, I suppose Walker has driven Emilio back to the hotel, right, to the rest of the crew.
I think that absent any stunning discovery at the hotel, at the library, yes, I would get back to the hotel.
I want to make sure before we head out, I'll come down. Well, come down in a pretty decent linen suit. Step up to the bar next to Mr. Decker and wave down the barkeep.
I'm in the trench coat and the fedora and the best suit I own.
Only suit you own?
Yeah, thanks pretty much. Yeah.
I'll start, wave over to the barkeep. Excuse me, sir. May I have just a quick shot of your finest whiskey?
Sure thing.
I thank you kindly.
JD leans over to Decker. Think he's practicing?
Yeah, I think he is. Just don't let him get drunk before the auction.
Let him drink too much.
And with that, he raises his shot glass to you and throws it back.
Nice. So, Walker comes around when you go.
I'm ready. Everybody else is?
Let's blow this taco stand.
All right. So he drives you over to the auction site. Again, it's just a fancy hall. Maybe it's a gentleman's club that has been rented for the occasion. And, it's a little red carpet has been rolled out to receive the guests. There's a little line of taxis, people, going off. And as you enter are you all entering the thing? Because Decker mentioned staying outside or something.
I'm not going to enter with everybody else. I'll kind of saunter in later, but I just kind of want to walk around the auction and watch a lot of people. So I don't want to enter at the same time as the professor or as the tycoon.
So as you guys go in, there's a little reception area. They have I suppose champagne glasses, right?
Yeah,
it's
champagne in a fancy art.
High stake auction, right? So they.
Oh yeah. Excuse me, Jeff. Thank you.
You guys have been provided black and white photographs. Both Ferguson and Professor Kleinemann's. You do spot them in the crowd here. Kleinemann is well dressed, with wire-rimmed spectacles, and he has, I suppose, some documents in his hands, and let's see what else. And you see Ferguson is dressed in a tuxedo. He's got a smoking jacket and stuff. He's the person involved in the.
Are they together?
Not at present.
They're seeing other people.
Actually, well, you see,
They're on a break.
you see, Kleineman approach Ferguson, and he starts trying to chat him before the auction starts. So there's still a few minutes.
Well, I mean, I think if there's still kind of refreshment occurring, I think that this, I might make an opportunity. I might just be pretty obvious about trying to eavesdrop on this conversation. Are we outed? Like, does Kleineman know who we are?
No, you shouldn't.
Okay, so like we believe that we have cover.
Yes.
Okay. Good to know.
All right. So
then I'm just gonna mingle close enough to maybe catch some shreds of what they're talking about.
And as you do that, Decker in particular, but I suppose also Cahill, you guys spot two people you believe to be German soldiers, right? By their bearing, by the look. And, they keep glancing at Kleineman. They're not crowding him, right? They're letting him have his, breathing space, but they're clearly keeping an eye on him. So, they're not drinking, just like, standing around and, smiling politely if anybody goes up to them. They're not really together. They're like areas of the room. But you do notice, like, the strange thing. Everybody else, either has like a cup, a flute, a champagne flute, or is glancing at. There's a posted notice, like with a detailed itemized list of what's for auction, right? So your lot number 1, blah blah, lot number 2. It's detailed out there.
Right. I just want to take a look at just how these gentlemen are acting. These two supposed Germans. I just want to get a feel for, like, knowing my with my understanding of human nature. Are they watching this Kleineman? So does it seem like they're watching him to make sure he doesn't do anything stupid, or does it look like they're just kind of guarding him?
It looks like they're watching his back. Yeah, they're watching his back, right? They're making sure that nobody bothers him, that he's safe. So he's clearly under their protection, right? So it's
right. Okay. The only other thing I want to do
basically.
then, only other thing that I want to do then is if Kleineman's talking to Ferguson, because I have a very keen sense of hearing, I want to see if I can pick up anything they're talking about.
Sure. So they're not making any particular effort to be quiet. So both Emilio and, in particular, again, Decker with keen hearing. Emilio's closer, Decker is farther away, but Decker is, so good at listening that he can focus on the conversation to the exclusion of other noise in the room. And Kleineman is asking, but strange coloration. How long has this egg been here? Is it in pristine condition? Is it sun bleached? Is it? And Kleineman says, no, it's deep red, practically purple, and I don't call any white spots. I had it appraised, and the best information I get is that it's possible either a dodo bird or an oversized specimen of possibly a very large emu. One of the people I contacted said maybe even some sort of ostrich here in Australia, although those are African, not Australian, so that would be an incredible scientific find. So let's have you guys roll. What am I looking for here? Is there any like sense motive skill here in this game?
That would be empathy.
Yeah.
That would be empathy.
Oh, empathy. Okay, so let me look it up. Sorry about that. It's been a while since I played this game. So yeah, I guess investigation might do as well, right? Because it's there's an interview skill.
Yeah, I've actually spent, but that implies we're talking to them, right?
Yeah,
that's
I would
true.
think it'd be more like empathy. If you're really just trying to get a read on somebody, that's empathy.
Yeah, because I think if interviewing by investigation, you'd have to push their buttons. I think I see Ivan's point.
Yeah. All right. So, but empathy seems to be the correct skill. It says that including body language and detect lies. So, let's see. I'm gonna say that's gonna be you're gonna need let me see if I use the correct terminology. It's gonna be kind of tough to figure out, what he's. Yeah.
Well,
that's a 3 in case.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the average.
Oh, nice.
As will I.
Nice. So you figured out that it's everything else he was saying sounded nice. As soon as he started talking about I showed this to veterinarians and scientists and stuff like that, and they told me it's a dodo bird. He's lying. He's making that stuff up. I mean, all he knows doesn't seem to know what the egg is.
Yeah,
take a quick side comment. Hey, Eddie, you think that'd make a pretty good omelet?
Depends on how old it is, son.
Ooh, that's a good point.
Yeah, I'm gonna saunter over to my at least to KL and say, there's something's up. There's something he's not telling about that stupid egg, but the professor there's a biologist, so he's got some kind of interest in it. And the Germans are crazy. And Hitler's a freaking complete whack job. So, but they think it's important. Not only do they think it's important, but I think they're something's not adding up. They're here for that egg, which makes no sense, but they're not here to stay here either.
It bugs the hell out of me that a biologist is interested in an egg that should be desiccated by now.
I don't think the seller he has no idea what he has either. But
maybe they're interested on where the damn thing
could be.
That would explain the expedition-sized fleet they brought with them.
Yeah, because the Nazis are going to go looking for a dragon. These guys are crazy.
I was just going to say, that's not beyond Mr. Adolf. I've heard stories about him not being right.
Really?
Gentlemen, I'm preoccupied with a flight of fancy, and I cannot connect all the dots. Perhaps I'm just wondering if perhaps before how much time do we have before the what does the clock read? I look at the clock.
Yeah, it's 10 minutes.
Okay. Was there a physician's office along this avenue?
Sure.
Okay.
You feeling sick there, Doc?
I'm just wondering if depending on when in the auction the egg is to be queued, I'm wondering if there's any possibility that we might borrow it and take what is called an X-ray of the egg.
You want to steal the egg?
Well, no, just borrow it, and and perhaps leave a similarly shaped. I'm sure we could find a vase to place under a cloth or something to that effect.
It's bigger than your head.
It's let me double check on the size of that. I forgot to.
It is a daydream. It's just merely a daydream. It might be infeasible. I'm given to think that many questions might be answered. We only have a moment to decide, of course. I'm sure it will be fine.
I think.
Okay, so average emu egg is 5 by 3.5 inches, and so you heard the description as 9 or 10 inches by 6 or 7. So it's about 4 times, I guess, volume in terms of volume, right?
Just take my face off. I forgot.
About right.
So
Yeah, looks like kind of like that.
yeah, kind of like that. Yeah.
There's an aside. My youngest daughter, she used to draw me, and I said, "How do you make it look like me?" And she goes, "Well, you draw an egg, upside down egg." And she did. That's what she did. She drew a freaking egg. Like it was upside down. Points there. Great. Yeah, I ended up looking like me. She put glasses and some beard growth, and it was remarkable. She was like 3 years old. This is how I do it, man. So you want to zap this thing full of Rontgen rays? Is that what you're saying? And that's going to prove something?
I'm just whatever this man is so preoccupied with, it has something to do with the animal that it belongs to. That's his curiosity is around that. I can't think of another way to get more intelligence. I mean, because I think right now we're given to think. I mean, I think that the moment has already passed, but we are given to think that the Germans will depart here post haste once they acquire the item. Do we agree that that's likely the case?
That does seem likely.
If that's actually what they want.
Well, I do not believe that they're going to go to the airport. I mean, that's my suspicion.
I think you're right with that fleet of vehicles. I don't think they're going. They're not taking off anytime soon.
How far are we from the airport?
Let's call it maybe 20 minutes.
Well, you see, you may have something there, Professor. But I don't think we necessarily need to take it to the doctor's office.
Mm-hmm.
They want the egg.
Yeah.
We should just take the egg.
Oh.
There's plenty of planes over there. Flyboy can get us out of here with somebody's plane. What difference does it make? You steal an egg, you might as well steal a plane too.
I like the way you think.
No,
I really don't. I need another. I'm just grabbing another freaking champagne from 2 champagnes from the next waiter thing goes down. The bell now. This is a stupid idea.
I believe we are given to assume that we cannot outbid them on this matter.
Depends on their expense account.
Yeah.
But they sure are outfitting for expedition. Problem is the Outback. It's a big place.
Yeah, I'm given to think, but if they proceed by way of a column, I mean, we should be able to get up in the air and at least follow them by their wake of dust if they're going into the desert. We should. I mean, we'll see their passage, don't you think? I mean,
We
like
could
even
also
if we're
get a-
behind.
We could also get a truck of our own and follow them. Shouldn't be too hard. As long as we know from where they leave.
Or we might stow away upon one of their lorries.
Tell you that you don't want my
as
flying,
these
you're gonna
guys are
love my
now
driving.
debating, as these fellas are debating, I am now just looking around the hall, looking at the feasibility of stealing this egg. Like what kind of what kind of guards
Indeed,
there are.
I was intrigued
I'm
by
just
this prospect.
Yeah, I'm just ignoring these guys as they're talking about this. I'm just kind of looking around, trying to really get a good read on just how awful this would be.
Well, the materials, the things are not here in this room, right? This is the antechamber. So
what if we were to buy something that's not the egg, and then when we go to pick up our thing, we abscond with the egg, because we'll be invited to wherever the treasure room is. If we do make a purchase at the auction, we don't have to purchase the egg itself.
I see where you're getting at. If they don't, I mean, they might just bring it on out to us at a designated meeting location, because I would imagine the security on this thing's pretty tight. If he doesn't want to have it at his estate, there's a reason for it. Security is probably the biggest one of those reasons.
You think it is so coveted, or there's a danger to owning it otherwise?
Well, either way, I think this is going to be a situation. If we don't see the merchandise, that means they're probably taking some checks and balances. They're going to make sure it's safe and protected until the rightful owners can safely transport it, I would imagine.
Well, I will assist in whatever manner you gentlemen decide. I think that a heist is most delightful. I'm sure it will work out just fine.
Oh, remember the last time this German shot at us. Anyhow, let's. Why don't you guys just go ahead and participate in this auction? I'm gonna kind of watch. I don't think I want to get shot at just yet.
I'm okay with going ahead with the auction. When we outbid them, I'll tell you what, we're gonna find out what their motives is real quick.
Probably to kill you and take the egg, but
yeah,
bid away.
If they beat us, they're probably gonna want to kill us and take the egg. So at least we get the more direct route if we win. What y'all think?
Do your best. I believe in you.
Well, the main chance is as fine a strategy as any. Whatever happens after, we will be the one off bailing. I can see no other fashion unless we set up an en passant. I mean, unless we try and ambush them after the fact. But I think we need to know more. We need to see as much of what unfolds here. So I think we should remain.
I agree. I think we should have a lookout. Keep an eye on, see how they do operate with the first few items. To see how the operation's working. See if they've got a single hold, if they've got a drop location, something like that. And then we press from there.
And you hear chime as they signal the beginning of auction.
And I clap Cody on the back and say, Cody on the back, so you're like a fine detective one day, son.
Well, I thank you. It's probably the finest insult I've had today.
And
you're doing pretty good then.
Filing in, they start handing out the thingies with the little signs with numbers. Yeah, the little paddles with numbers. There's an usher at the door. He hands you as many as you request. So and you file down this thing. One of the German bodyguards sits down with Kleineman, and the other kind of stands in the back, where he can keep an eye on the room. Kleineman goes about halfway in. You know, it's not that big a room, right? It's not that many people. Let's call it 20 people at most. So there's not that many people involved in this auction. It's a small affair. Well, it's like 20 numbers, 20 paddles, right? Maybe it's 30 people, but it's 20 paddles. And Ferguson is standing, near the auctioneer, and he's just looking at the crowd, right? He's sitting at the table looking at the crowd, just enjoying the show. And this gentleman walks up to the podium and begins announcing the different lots and begins giving, descriptions of the grandfather clock. And they start with some pieces of art and some paintings and whatnot, and it starts moving along, right? Kleineman is not bidding on anything, but he's looking intently, like at the program and at the, he's looking around, see who's bidding, how much they're bidding, and eventually it gets around to the egg.
For a point of fact, I've bid on a couple things, but I've been chased out pretty easy.
Okay. Yeah. So good. So
at one point we get stuck with a chair. Nobody else.
It's leaning over to Kale. It's like, why the hell is he bidding on the clock? What the hell is he doing?
So,
Kale, you made out a will recently, Cahill?
On a what?
A will. Have you made out a will recently, Cahill?
No.
Nah, I've been thinking about making mine out again. I think it's about time. Never mind. There's writing's just on the wall.
I don't have much to bequeath anyway, so.
Oh, I don't have anything to bequeath, really. I just am trying to see which ex-wife I can give my bills to.
Oh. Smart man.
So eventually, this lot is brought out, and they have some sort of like cushioned box, right? And they open it up, and inside you see what appears to be, the egg. It's you already know how big it is. It's a deep red, dark, almost wine-colored, almost purple kind of egg. It's pretty big. Does anybody have like biology or any of the sciences that might apply?
As you know, Emilio's first calling was as an oil man, and so he has some knowledge of geology and perhaps thus fossils, but that is all.
Oh, okay, yeah. So
that is paper mache painted. That is not real. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. This is why we came all the way here.
Yeah. So from your overheard conversation, you get the sense that if this thing were too old, it'd be bleached by the sun, right? And you also get the sense that it's bigger than a regular emu egg, and it's the wrong color for an emu egg. So that's all what you got from what you overheard. And as soon as the auction starts, like at they bill it again as a dodo bird, which has been extinct for at least 100 years by this time. And or a curiosity of a biological thing. It mentions it's a late addition to the auction. It wasn't initially listed, but in the amended detailed listing, it was added recently, and bidding starts at, I don't know, whatever, 100 pounds or something. And that's pretty rich for the time, so maybe it starts at 50 pounds. And as soon as it starts, Kleineman begins the bidding. Now, guys, I think at this point, with what you do have an account. So I think the best way to handle this auction is, how bad do you want it? Do you want him to have it? Do you want to own it yourselves? I think at this point it's more of a decision rather than an actual roll, right? You know what I'm saying?
So what I'm thinking is, I want to see how bad he wants. So I want to push him,
Okay.
but I do not want to win it.
Okay. Okay. And you're the only one doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
The rest
I
of
think
us are watching.
the rest of us are like we're trying to get as much information as possible from.
Yeah. Okay. And you're not sitting with him, or are you?
No, I'm standing in the back
No.
drinking champagne
Okay.
myself.
Okay.
I'm just, my jaw is like almost on the floor. Like, you have got to be kidding me. This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life. These men are
So-
betting on a paper mache egg.
So initially, it's like 4 people bid, right? Kleineman, Coy, maybe 2 other bidders, right? So you start racing the bids, and first guy drops like almost immediately. It keeps going up. It starts getting pretty pricey for a curiosity. The second guy drops, and then it starts getting expensive. And whatever one of you, the other guy races, right? Keeps scaling up, and it's on the expensive range, and it's starting to climb up onto the really expensive range.
Is he starting to get frustrated at all?
Oh, they're looking at you.
Oh yeah.
They're like, "Who is this guy?" He's like, he looks at you and he looks at the egg and he looks at the German beside him, and they whisper a few words, and he keeps racing the thing. Right, the auctioneer says once, and then he whispers over to the German, and then the German nods, and he races the thing again. We have a bid from number 6, and it keeps increasing. Right.
I'm looking over at Farmer and Caleb saying, like, this is the damnedest thing I've ever seen. Like, I saw somebody pay $100 for a pig once at an auction. I thought that was the craziest thing I've ever seen. This is the damnedest. Can you believe this? These crowds really want this damn egg.
And Ferguson has got a smile like from here to here. He's like,
What? And indeed, they seem
"Sell
to
the egg."
they seem to wish to buy it legitimately, like that, which means they do not. They could likely steal it with as much force and abscond to their Zeppelin. So there's some. Yeah.
Tell me this, Doc. I'm never gonna like actually fess up to this, but you're pretty smart. I don't get it. I don't believe for a second that this egg is real, but why in the world would the Germans want it? They're up to something,
No,
so they must believe something.
Well,
it was once an egg of an animal. I will say no more.
You always say that. Then you keep talking.
The Aussies don't like these Germans any more than we do. Probably watching them. That's probably why they're not stealing it. They know it'd be very difficult for them to get out of here.
No, I wouldn't mess with Aussies.
I concur.
So the whole time that this bidding is going back and forth, I'm stone faced, looking forward, like nothing's happening, sipping my champagne as it's going along. But right when I get the most incredulous look from him, I'll continue looking forward, but I'll just give a little wink.
And he frowns and he talks to the German beside him again, and then the guy gestures. Does anybody speak German by any chance? Or?
I don't.
Now that
Wait,
we're on
hold
the
on.
subject?
Let's see if I grabbed that one. I do.
Oh,
I did grab
nice.
German.
Nice.
So what am I hearing?
So he's hearing. Never mind. Get it. Bid if you must. We have to get it. We are reaching the limit, though.
Emilio, I think Ford wants the damn egg too. Is the whole country gone mad?
And he says, at some point he
play, and sometimes you get caught up in the moves you're making.
And at some point you hear,
certainly I've been guilty of this.
And Decker hears something he recognizes, but of course Decker doesn't speak German, so
Right.
but with his keen hearing, in spite of everything, he does hear. And the German says, von Schreck will not be happy if you exceed this amount. If it comes to that, then we may have to resort to other means. But bid to the maximum. Put an end to this, says the other German. And the professor, raises the thing and screams out a number, which is bordering on ridiculous. So you can match it. I mean, again, are you willing to get her, or you want him to have it, or what are you going to do?
So for the first time, I'll make eye contact with him.
Mm-hmm.
Look at him, just kind of give him a little eyebrow and say, he's all yours.
Nice. So, the auctioneer goes once, twice, sold to the gentleman number 6 for a ridiculous amount of money. And, he bangs the thing. And now for the next, it comes out. And, the professor looks at you. The German on the back is looking at you, too. The rest of you notice that the German on the back is looking at him. But, he kind of looks forward again and the rest of the auction plays out, right? So interrupt me at any time if you wish to do anything further. But so I'm just going to keep narrating what happened.
So to continue, sir, I'll bid on a couple of things like I did before the egg, but never get into a battle again.
Okay. So
I'm just keeping an eye on things in general. Just watching the oh man, what the heck is his name? Dr. Leopold Kleinman and the other Germans that I've identified, but just kind of like keeping an eye on see if anything odd happens. Other than that, I'm just amused that Ford managed to bankrupt the Third Reich all on his lonesome. So I'm just
hey, good job.
Mostly just watching.
So the auction comes to an end, and people stand up, and more champagne is brought, and
oh, thank God.
They start bringing up the items. I'm calling the different lots, and as they're doing that, because it's not a slot, obviously, Kleineman again moves up to speak to Ferguson, and Ferguson has the smile, right? Ear to ear smile, right? Because this item was the big battle of the entire auction, right? So this is a big win for Ferguson. And so they start talking. Decker has the keen ears. He can hear what's going on. Are the rest of you guys doing anything?
Well, it's my intention to suggest kindly to Coy that perhaps we've earned some debt from Ferguson. That perhaps we might be able to congratulate him on how much money he made, owing to the fierce bidding that went on. We might be in his graces to get some information if we don't have to run out of here quickly.
I think that I think it's a good idea there, Professor.
I'm sure everything will be fine.
That's the equivalent of I get a bad feeling about this when he says that. Yeah, JD's keeping an eye on the German soldiers, make sure that they're not going to be following after Coy.
So what are you doing? Something, Coy?
So I'll
Kleineman
go.
is speaking to Ferguson right now. Interrupt their conversation? Are you going to wait? Are you or something else?
I'll go up and stand nearby to denote that I would like to have a conversation, but I don't want to interrupt just yet unless they run on or they give me a window where with something I can interrupt with.
Meantime, as Decker's listening intently, he's just like watching Koi go up there. It's like, oh, what is he doing?
So the conversation goes something like, "Son is ecstatic, saw the egg," and the professor is more concerned with, "Yes, I am glad I could procure this item. I am dying to examine it further. Where exactly was this? Where is this find made?" And Ferguson says, "Well, in my estate in Alice Springs," and he lets out a racist remark referring to what you guys know to be Aborigine population, Australia. He says one of the insert racist remark here. One of the Aborigines is every time I say Aborigine, the racist remark, right?
Okay.
He says one of the Aborigines near the mine found this not too long ago. It was a last-minute addition to the auction. I didn't think anyone would be so interested, but it is peculiar. I mean, the collection is all wrong. The emu eggs are supposed. This one is red. I've never seen one like this, and this is the biggest one I've ever seen.
I'll take that opportunity to insert myself. You say it was by a mine.
It was by what?
You say it was by one of your mines?
Well, yes, I own the estate near Alice Springs. There is a mine there. That is my trade. I employ many of the locals from Alice Springs and some of the local Aborigines. They work, they're a lazy lot, but they do know the terrain, and sometimes they come up with, curiosities like this. What is that?
Swear beeps.
Oh, swear beeps. Yeah, exactly. Nice. So,
and I'll take a quick. I acknowledge the vitamin, but not. I gotta be too, racist towards him or anything. Kind of put my shoulder. You know how you do? You point your shoulder at somebody as opposed to instead of being open up to them. Kind of almost taking over the conversation. You say so. Go up in Alice Springs. Y'all find anything else up in that area? Any of the and I'll use the same racist remark. Aboriginals, Aborigine folk. They got any stories up there?
I'm gonna elbow Cahill right about this time, thinking, man, if Ford lit himself on fire, he couldn't possibly be more conspicuous at this point. If that boy couldn't fly a plane, there would be no reason to take him with us. He is just a beacon. He's like a burning bush right now. All subtlety is gone.
Worst comes to worst, he calls their attention, and we can take him down.
They'd be a good diversion. Yeah, we bring him as a diversion. That's probably why I bring him along.
Ferguson
I need an Alka-Seltzer.
So Ferguson
Coin's like a human flashbang, but I can't say in character because I don't sit there.
Nice. He says, "Well, nothing like this. I mean, there's not even that many at the area, but like I said, the Aborigines every once in a while with something." Come up with something useful every once in a while, and again, it's curious. It's curious. Are you a scientist as well as Dr. Kleineman here? To be so interested in this curiosity, after this exciting bidding match, I'm now quite curious to see what exactly it is that this bird is. Is it an emu? Is it an ostrich in Australia? Is it the dodo bird? I was a bit skeptical when I heard about being a dodo bird. It's supposed to be farther up north and not in Australia, but well, stranger things have happened.
Yeah, like
I would say, yeah, it is quite odd, and that's why it piques my interest. The school that I'm representing down here, it's they're quite interested in such a find because it is so out of place. We'd I can tell you this: the Oxford University would be very interested in getting to explore it. And this is where, so I'll acknowledge German now. Sir, if you would be so kind, like we would love to help your research. See, because I imagine you're quite intrigued by why this egg is here. I can tell you on behalf of Oxford, we would be happy to help out with your research if you if you so choose, because we're quite interested in the findings too.
I just turned to my two companions and I said, I don't suppose either of you know how to fly a plane.
So at this point, he kind of looks at you and looks
I've
over
always wanted to try.
looks over to one of the German guys, one that was sitting with him, and the guy is frowning, and he says, "That is the most grateful offer. Is I would be I would have to consult with our own university, but perhaps we'll call the department. Are you a chair of the department of biology, or?
Oh,
And he seems, he seems really nervous when he's saying this. So
yeah, I'm under their I work with that department. I've helped funded a number of their projects. So I'm curious about different biologies around the world, but just a feigning curiosity. The more extravagant stuff like this being so out of place, this definitely caught my eye, and I asked, they'd let me investigate a little bit further, check it out, and maybe I'm sure the check that came with it, or that I offered with them, or with this trip to do the research, I'm sure they were more than obliged to send me down on their behalf.
Now, that doesn't sound like a deception check.
that's true. Let's check that out. Let's have you make a deception check.
Okay.
Do you have deception on your skill list?
I have performance.
Oh.
I also have. I don't think that diplomacy. Yeah, that's all I've got. Performance would be about 8.
How many dice do you have for performance?
It's actually con, right?
It's con. Yeah,
is
con.
supposed to be
Con.
con.
Oh, okay.
So,
well, con I've got. Yeah, it's the same. Con and performance are the same. For me,
No,
I've got 4 in both.
You got con?
Yeah.
Ooh. Cool.
Those are probably. You could probably synergize those. You could probably end up rolling 6 dice. I mean.
Okay. That's up to you,
What?
Mr. GM.
If you're acting like a role of somebody else, you might be able to do that. That's your probably like.
I think that's an average. That's an average roll. I mean, it's not.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, is the roll just to pass? Because then yes, I think perform like naturally. I guess like what are we rolling for? So and I guess that and you don't have to tell us, but in the back of your mind, you know what the answer to what the roll is. That's all.
Yeah, I suppose it would be like. Let's make it a let's make it a tough roll. Let's make it a tough. Yeah.
And tough is 4.
3.
Yeah, no. I mean, are you gonna let him synergize with the performance or no, or is he just gonna roll straight con?
He probably should synergize, right? I think he's.
Or use style. One of the two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean.
Yeah, he's playing a role, right? He's pretending to be from.
Yeah,
guess,
this is. Yeah.
That's one of those things you can either take the average or it's important enough he makes a roll. Not telling you how to do it, just one of those moments.
I'm game for anything.
Well, if he synergizes, he's got what, 5 dice?
6.
He's got 6.
Oh,
Synergizing.
Oh, actually, no. Synergizing
now, when you
would give me
synergize,
8.
you had 2.
Or wait,
well,
you just had 2?
You don't add them. You don't add them.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure you just had 2.
Yeah, you had said 6.
If you have a skill that has, if you have a skill that you have at least 4 dice in that's related to that attempt, but you're you're conning. You're using the con as your primary skill you're using. But if you're using performance to kind of augment that or synergize with that, if you have at least 4 dice.
Okay, if he doesn't have 4, then it doesn't synergize.
I have 4 in both.
Yeah. So if you have at least 4 dice in perform, then you get to add 2 dice to.
So that's
your
6.
con roll.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you had 8 dice in con, you still only get to add 2 to your.
Right. Gotcha.
It's just
correct.
If it's 4 or more, then you get to add the other 2.
All right. So a 6. The average would be 3. So I guess you pat. Okay. So Ferguson's. Kleineman says, I would like to speak to the Aborigines, but now he uses the correct term, right? He uses the correct term. At your property and try to determine where they got this egg. Maybe have them look for more. And Ferguson, still smiling, says, of course, you're welcome to come with us. And he says, I have my university has sent a crew with me, and we'd like to, if you don't mind, maybe look around. This egg was found to see if we can find more. And Ferguson says, of course, you'd be welcome at any time.
Miss Ferguson, you mind if I tag along as well?
And he looks at you and at Kleineman, and Kleineman says, I am afraid in these matters, part of the value of the find is who makes the find first.
Oh,
he looks pointedly at you and at Ferguson, and he says, I believe we have paid a good price for first opportunity to examine this find. And Ferguson says, sounds fair to me. You paid a pretty bit of coin for access. So he says, I'm sorry, Mr.
Mr. Smith.
Smith.
That's like a -4 die penalty right there. Yeah, I mean, Decker's having this coughing fit. It's
Decker spits out the champagne, right? It's like,
I don't think it can get any worse.
He says, I'm afraid Professor Kahneman has a point, but perhaps at a later date. He provides you contact information. I'm not quite sure. I mean, I don't think they even have telephones that far out. They probably have like telegraph.
Yeah, that's probably
or something. So he tells you to contact him at a local Alice Springs telegraph office, but he's afraid Mr. Kleinman does have precedence.
Well, all right. Well, thank you for your information. I will definitely come back. Just as if the good gentleman doesn't find anything, maybe I'll come check out the area. We find something else. I tell you what though, if you got another one of them grandfather clocks, I'd like to check them out. I'm a little bit sad I missed out on that one.
Oh, I'm afraid not at present, but well, sure, no harm in.
All right.
Keep your information. He takes your information in case something else.
And with that, gentleman, he tips his glass to everybody present and walks off to the back of the room.
Excellent. So, anything else you guys gonna do immediately?
Besides shoot Ford? No, not really.
I thought it was a noble effort, gentlemen. I could find little fault.
It was a damn fine fight. Well, clearly, I tell you what, I gotta admit, Doc, you were right. I think the idea is we need to go find out what these Nazis are up to. But I think you got the right idea. We can follow the dust plume, and maybe Flyboy here can buy a plane with all that money we saved not buying a paper mache egg. What do you think? Or we could just take one, rent one. We gotta be able to rent planes, right?
You give me some of the flies, I'll fly it.
Oh, that I have to be in it. Oh.
I mean, you don't have to be in it. You could ride on the wing, son. It's not gonna hurt my feelings then.
Just save enough money for scotch.
I think you should save your drink. Fine. I mean, you think it's a paper mache egg. Ferguson thinks it belongs to a big bird. But what do the Nazis think laid that egg? That's bugging the hell out of me.
Probably.
A dragon?
I tell you, Kleinerman is certainly interested in it.
You think he thinks that the one from the opera there, the big paper mache dragon they make in those operas where the fat lady sings at the end?
Is there an institution of learning in this city, or is that civilization has not come so far yet?
Hell, did dinosaurs hatch from eggs?
What the heck are you talking about, Cahill?
No, they indeed do come from eggs, Mr. Cahill. That is not inaccurate. Why do you inquire?
There's even talks now. No, never mind.
Well, Decker brought up dragons, but
no, I've never imagined that.
There ain't never been a thing like dragons. But you remember what we saw in that castle in Germany? These guys, they're looking for that kind of shit. Excuse me, stuff.
Of course. Yeah, the French call it merde. Let me tell you.
They actually do. I fought in France,
I don't think they have a university. They established one in 2003.
No.
Okay.
So that
They may have a high
sounds
school.
like they do have high schools. Yeah.
Listen, it's a country of criminals there, farmer. It's kind of like Chicago, but less civilized.
With funnier accents. Yeah.
If that can be imagined.
Really big rats. So maybe everybody just lost their mind.
The Germans start to leave. They go around the back. You guys are moving forward, and then you hear a commotion in the back as you're leaving the thing. You see there's a car. Did you guys see him arrive? Yeah, I think we. Anyway, there's a car. There's two more Germans in the car. This is on the back of the thing as you're exiting. You can see that. And coming out is an Aborigine kid, like a teenager, dressed in local clothes, right? And he's running out of the back of the hall with a box. And he gets cornered by the two Germans on the car, and you can see the other two Germans coming out of the hall, and they got the kid cornered. And one of them grabs the kid, the other one grabs the box, and the other two start beating up on the kid.
Now, why did they have to go and do that? Gale stretches his hand and says, "Hey, what the hell are you doing? Take your hands off him."
One of the Germans says, "He's thief, stealing property."
Then you take him to the police. Pick on someone your own size. Get your hands off him right now.
Mind your own business. They secure the case. The professor hasn't come out of. It's just the two bodyguards, and they start looking at you.
Did we gather that this was the egg?
Yes.
Container.
Yes,
Okay.
it's the egg container.
So,
Wonder why that local boy was trying to run off with that egg.
There's people willing to pay about 100,000 pounds for that egg. Any other questions? Questions you got there, Flyboy?
I'm gonna try and wander a little close.
Mm-hmm.
For whatever reason. What is the variety? Is this really a local boy?
Well, it's an Aborigine. You've seen them here in town. Not many. Probably seen one or two. They mostly live out, further out in the country. The question is, are you going to do the Germans? They kick them around a couple of more times, and are you going to step in and do something about it?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Hey,
You don't have to.
Fritz.
It's
like, hey Fritz, I told you to take your hands off him, and I shoved one of them.
Oh, nice. All right.
My interest was if it was staged to move the egg, take it somewhere else. That's all.
No, these are the Germans that came with it. I mean, he
Never
won the
mind.
auction, right?
Yeah.
But,
Pure tinfoil. There's no reason.
sure.
He's just trying to get as close as possible to the action, so he might get hurt. I like it.
So, do we roll initiative in this?
Yes,
we
you
have
do.
a stat. Yeah, we have a stat.
Yes, you do.
I forget
You roll
if we
initiative.
do. Yeah. All right. So,
Son of a gun. Rolling the initiative. Guess I'm gonna have to back up.
2, 3, 4.
Oh, that's awful. 2.
4.
Gotta do this. Higher is better here in this game.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow. Not great for me either. Wow. 1.
One.
I managed to roll 2 on 8 dice, so don't feel bad.
Nice.
Sorry, what are we doing?
Rolling
Roll the
initiative.
All right. Why are we doing that?
'Cause somebody
Somebody started pushing the Germans around.
Somebody had to be a white knight.
Hey, this is 1936. I'm playing a typical G-man. I couldn't beat up with the kid.
That's right.
I got a 3.
All right.
3 successes. All right.
All right. So who goes on 4?
That would be quite forward, no relation.
Oh, nice. So you actually go first.
How?
There's two of the Nazis facing you. The other two, one has the box, and he's putting it in the car, and the other one kicks the boy one more time and is turning to face you.
Okay, so
I'm sorry. One of the guys that was standing in front is the one that JD just pushed.
Okay, I'm gonna pull out my switchblade.
Damn.
But I'm gonna hold hold movement until one of them takes a swing at me, or worse. If a gun gets pulled, then I'll probably hide behind KL.
All right.
So
So
this is like an on guard.
Yeah,
That's
it's kind of, hey, come on.
bring it. Yeah. So Cahill, I think, is up, right, with a 3.
Yeah, it's a switchblade attitude. Right? All right, so I'm looking here. Just 1 second. Obviously, I'm gonna sock a Nazi because
Hey, that's over here.
that's what you do.
Gosh.
That's what you do. And I just want to check the boxing rules just to make sure. Yeah, so I just get a +1 bonus when I'm punching.
Oh, nice.
Alrighty. Then, so that would make it 7 dices.
Mm-hmm. Are you going to pour style on that or just roll?
Nah, I'm just socking him in the jaw. I said the one that kicks the kid, right? Said hands off, Fritz. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4 successes.
Oh, 4 successes. Nice.
Wait,
So,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes.
5 successes.
Because it's evens in this game. I always forget.
Yeah, you just do whatever you want. Evens, odds, highest part of the die, whatever. As long as you're consistent.
Hey, we're playing this raw, man.
Uh-oh.
That's awesome.
Wow.
It's evens.
Yeah.
It's evens, you son of a bitch. It's evens.
Let's not go there. So, okay, so the subtract defense and whatever is left is what he gets.
The match.
That's right.
All right. So, you punch him and he's like stunned by the you sock him on the jaw and you can see he's stunned. And now we come on 2.
That would be me.
Yeah. So go ahead.
All right. So my intention is this way. He's thrown the box of the egg in the car, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right. And so I'm gonna jump in the car. I'm trying to push past the Nazis and jump in the driver's seat of the car. So I'm going to try to do this acrobatically. I believe is probably what I can see if I can push past him and try to synergistically use athletics with acrobatics.
Oh, nice. All right.
So that's figure out like how hard is this going to be for me to push past them and get in the dark? Because my intention is to get in there, get in the car, and like close the door. Because I'm going to steal the car and the egg.
You have this Grand Theft Auto
thing. Yeah, this is not the first car you've boosted, I think. In this game.
No, it's not. It's not. In Hollow Earth Expedition. Well, no, actually, Star Wars. I like to steal cars.
Star Wars, yeah, it happened.
I like to steal a car.
So I'm going to say it's hard. You got basically 2 guys and
right.
It's 4 guys total, right? So there's still 3 guys who are moving in to back their guy up, and they're up on 2 as well. So
all right,
I'll go in this round. Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna so that's 6 dice just by synergizing. I'm gonna put style in this.
Nice.
So I'm gonna put all my style. I'm gonna put all 3 style in this. So I'm gonna roll 9 dice.
Oh my god.
Because I really just this seems like a good opportunity right here. So that is 1, 2, 3. Oh, that is 6 successes.
Oh, nice.
9 dice.
So that's a call it a complete success.
All right.
So
jump into the car and closing the door and
starting the car. So I think with that complete success, you not only do that, but you do start the car, right? It starts on the first. These are the old cars, right? Where you sometimes have to pump the gas and then, but it just it goes on the.
But it doesn't just push button start.
It's a fancy German car, man.
Yeah, and the keys were in the ignition. So this is how good your So,
So it's just me and the egg.
yeah.
Keychain just says Volbricht on one of the little tabs on a little fob.
Yeah. So I think this time, the guy who put the egg in the car just realizes, that you have he pulls out a Luger, and
Oh shit!
and he points it at you and starts screaming in German. Because I think he loses his cool right at this moment, and he's like, nine. So he starts screaming at you to stop and get out of the car, but you don't know. Just German screaming at you.
Yeah, 8, 9, yeah, whatever, 10.
Yeah. So the other guy who was, facing you guys when JD hit one, I think tries to punch JD because you just punch his fellow, right? So let's see. I'm gonna roll for him. And this being evens, he only gets a so
a one?
Make a defense roll. Yeah, 1 success.
Oh, easily. I got 4.
Nice. Excellent. So
I weave aside.
Yeah, that's him. And 2.
Okay, so I'm gonna use
3,
this since I'm gonna use that pulling out a Luger as a significant event that I was waiting for. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and since the other guy's occupied missing JD, I will pull up I'll come up behind the guy that's pointing the Luger at the car. And then so I'm gonna come up behind him, I'm gonna put the blade up to his kidney. Okay. And I'm going to whisper in German, no, put your weapon down or I will put you down.
Okay, that's an intimidation roll.
Okay.
So let's have you do that. And I'll give you, of course, I would normally give you a higher bonus check, but given the circumstances, I'm just going to give you a +1 because you do have some advantage on him in terms of your precision, the blade, but he's freaked out and he doesn't want the car to get away, right? So it's only going to be at +1.
Okay, and so
it's a charisma or
the charisma. Okay.
Well, it's like, do you have intimidation as a skill though?
Correct.
I do not have intimidation as a skill.
What's your charisma score?
3.
3. Oh, it's okay. So you actually have 1 die because you take a -2 penalty because you don't have it as a skill.
2.
So you have 2 dice. That's pretty good.
Okay, and it's what's my goal? Because style may be used here.
I was about to say use style.
So I'm going to say that it's going to be tough because he's got orders to stop this guy so that's a 3.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna use all 3 of my style.
Oh wow!
I'm gonna make sure because I want to make sure. No, I'm just gonna use 2 of them.
Okay.
I'll keep rolling. I'll hold on to 1. Let's make this a fun roll. 1, 2, 2.
Just 2. All right. So, All right. So there's 1 guy left, right? It's 1, 2.
Oh, hold on. Because I'm doing it in German, can I use my linguistics?
No.
Okay.
Good hustle. But
it's more likely that you're not taking a penalty because you language.
It's a good hustle. I mean, under other circumstances, right? But this guy's rattled. Mm-hmm. He's got orders.
Are you sure you don't play Pathfinder?
So the final guy puts out pulls out a Luger as well and says, "Stop or I'll shoot." Basically,
Who he points it at? Who's he pointing it at?
I think he points it. You know what? The situation is a bit chaotic, so I'm gonna roll for it. He actually does point it at Koi.
Okay.
Because JD is punching. The guy just got in the car, but he does point it at Koi and says, "Drop it, or I'll shoot." And we go to the next initiative turn, which is 1, which is a million.
Yeah. Where's the egg?
that?
This will be fine. This is fine.
I'm thinking the egg is, where would he have he put it? I think he maybe put it like in the passenger seat to keep it safe.
Jesus Christ.
Oh
So
man,
no one's
Jose's having a bad night. No one's holding it because it's in the car and Joe is sitting in the driver's seat, so he can just put a hand on the case and drive, right?
Yeah.
Or actually, this is Australia. Do they drive on the other side? Maybe he puts the other hand.
Yeah.
He can drive on the other side. Yeah.
So Joe has the car running?
Yeah, sure do.
Yeah, he sat down and started it. But there's a German guy pointing a gun at him.
Right. Yeah.
And
Detail.
Yeah.
All right, and I'm given to think that this is Australia, right? So like we just brought our guns and like nobody cares.
We could say that Walker provided you with guns. He was already
okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how at what point in the I don't know where things are at.
I mean, it's fine. We can say that Walker provided you with guns because he was already in country, so he might have,
Okay. Boy.
Oh, farmer carries a gun. Oh.
It's a necessity.
It's the guys with the swastikas. Point at the guys with the swastikas.
It'll be fine.
I'm gonna take my gun out and I'm gonna point it at the at the egg.
Oh.
And I'm going to say, we are going to be leaving with your precious with your precious item, or your item will become much less precious. And I get into the back seat and I'm trying to herd the boy into the back seat with us.
Oh, nice. So I think this is also an intimidation roll.
I'm hoping it's a negotiation. Is that it? We're gonna see you again late. Like I'm sure you're gonna chase us. Like this is not the end of it, but it's the end of it for now because I'm holding a gun to your baby.
If it's a negotiation, then I'm gonna say it's a hard sell. So that's
fine.
Gonna be a difficulty of 4, but I will give you a bonus of +2 because you are threatening the egg, right?
2 more dice. Nice.
Okay. So, and diplomacy is charisma?
Yes.
Well, do you have the diplomacy skill?
Yes, I do indeed, and I have a negotiation specialty in in diplomacy.
So how many dice do you have?
Oh my lord! So if I understand correctly, specialties are what +1 die?
Correct.
Yeah. So it's your base charisma score plus however many dice you put into the diplomacy skill.
So that would be 11 dice.
Really?
Oh my god! So you can take the average. Yeah. You can just take the average.
I could almost take a third of the route.
Yes.
And
well, okay, so
yeah, so I think at this point you one of the German
With
pointing
whatever command of the situation, I might push my luck a little bit and try and get Coy and everybody else into the car with us. But yeah. Let me know how it's going.
Okay, so I think at this moment, the Germans, kind of looked between the German that's pointing the gun at
Coy.
Joe looks around at the other guys. They all look at each other, except the guy who's like reeling back, and then they say in German. He says, "Don't hurt the egg. Don't hurt the egg. Let him go. Let him go. There'll be another day."
No, I would never hurt the egg.
Right.
But they're talking to each other. You say that.
I'll pull back the double action.
Yeah. So
with that, understanding what that was, I will take a quick step to move to the door and get in.
All right. So what the rest of you guys do? Well, it's only Cahill, right?
I think it's just Cahill left.
Cahill left, yeah.
Hey, big man, you want to get in?
But I got this thing was freezing on me.
Oh, okay. So Emilio just
I know what he did. It was the last thing you said. And
they said don't hurt the egg. Don't hurt the egg. And
right. But after the as a DM, so basically Emilio threatened them, and the guys are backing off.
Yes.
So the guy that was fighting is also backing off.
Yeah.
Get in the freaking car.
Yeah, all right. So you take the boy and you get in the car and
basically I take the guy who was fighting and I shove to one of the gunmen just in case.
Nice.
And then get in the car.
All right.
I'm flooring it. As we're taking off, I look over at Farmer. You guys balls as big as that egg.
Nice.
It will be fine.
It will be fine. Excellent.
I got new respect for this guy already.
Yeah, I think after this everybody gets style, right? I think everybody was
better get style
of their game. Yeah. Okay, so how long are we playing tonight? Just to know, calling it here. If we're playing a chase scene, if we're
I need to go do a quick aggro avoidance check.
Okay.
And then I can be right back, and I'm actually game for most of the night because I don't have to be at work until 9.
Oh, nice. So you guys want to
I think 11:30.
11:30? Sure. Okay.
Yeah, I got a chase scene in me. I'm gonna go use the bathroom real fast, but yeah.
Water.
Go ahead. Sure.
That he's really got big balls. I'll tell you, that's something else.
Nice.
Be right back to it.
Yep.
Cuidado, pinches. Eloy, you remember Carlos Sanchez, the infected guy from the hospital?
Yeah.
He has a son who's also an ID guy, significantly younger than us, bastante más joven que nosotros.
Sí.
Y el chamaquito es infecciosa, yo no sé cómo que le hicieron, tú sabes, con su papá allí. Pero anyway, no es malo.
Está breaking up.
¿Me oye?
Okay. Ahora sí, y acuérdate que están grabando. Sí.
Ok. Sí, pues, so, el tipo es infectólogo y él decidió que como él no tiene oficina, él va a pasar visita a las 9 de la noche, 10 de
Oh
la
my
noche.
God. Por eso que has tenido como 10 llamadas.
Entonces él me llama para pedirme que vea un caso a las 10:30 de la noche. Le digo, está bien, yo lo veo mañana. Y entonces la llamada a las 11 fue una enfermera, es que le dé este resultado al doctor y quería que se lo dijéramos a usted. Y yo, bueno, a las 11 de la noche.
¿Qué quería? ¿Qué te
Ya.
dijeron?
Que me notificaran un resultado de un D-dimer.
Oh my God.
Tú
¿Estaba
sabes.
positivo por lo menos? ¿O estaba...
Sí, pero que yo voy a hacer con un D-dimer. Tiene trombocitopenia intensivo. Ponle plaqueta.
Sí,
Es como, man, ¿por qué tú pasas visitas ahora? Y él te llama para discutir los casos.
sí.
It ain't Hollow Earth Expedition until somebody steals a car.
Yep, that's right.
That's one.
Unless you're actually in the Hollow Earth and there's no cars.
You're right. That's one thing I love. One thing I love about this game is like no matter what, at some point everything just goes batshit crazy. It's great. I love it personally.
Nice. Well, I'm hoping you're enjoying my impromptu adventure cooked up between last night going to bed and reading some Wikipedia and hearing one YouTube video on the way this morning. So
that's 90% of like my before my son was born. That's how 90% of the games I ran were yeah.
Well, that's perfect. Plus, I'm really liking how the characters are starting to really grate on each other at every turn.
Why did you have to go and hit the kid?
That was perfect. That's
the bottom line.
Well, the kid tried to steal the thing, right? And they're nasty Germans. They beat up people up slightest provocation. So
we could have watched that happen, but man, he laid hands. Cahill's just done. If they just took a box, and like gave him a kick, you probably would not okay. But beating up the kid, forget.
Can't be beating up on kids, huh? 1936.
Cahill's got that damn white hat. There we go.
My fedora's black, man. What are you talking?
Nice. Have you played this computer game? What's it called? LA Noire? Is it
LA Noire? Yeah, LA Noire.
It's by the people who do Grand Theft Auto. It's Grand Theft Auto. It's the same engine, so you can drive and do it, but you're playing the cops in 1946 LA.
Yes, right after World War II.
And it's excellent because you have free reign of the thing, and it has this investigation where you get to question the suspects, and it's a really interesting. They're really interesting cases. But the funny thing is, which I was reminded, is that there's no armor because it's 1946, so you have suits. And what they do is they have like different colored suits, and the suits will give you like one of the suits gives you a boost to like speed or something, and the other it's like a little armor, right? But
red ones go faster.
And you start unlocking them, and it's awesome because the guy starts with like one suit, or two, I think, and then you start unlocking suits and stuff like that. After
you have the fist fighting suit and
the fist fighting suit, yeah, it's like the shooting suit. It's awesome.
And so Jose, you're using like the boxing fighting style from the
martial arts boxing, correct?
That's awesome. That's nice. That's like I remember that's like the fencing stuff in All for One, where you're better at some stuff and worse at others.
Right.
And that's actually really cool. You get pretty flavorful there.
Yeah, because then you can visualize as the guy's actually boxing, like
right.
Marquis de Quinbury rules.
Oh yeah, the heck with the rules. Yeah, just right below the belt.
Hey, I was gonna rabbit punch them. We didn't get to it thanks to Farmer's brilliant intervention.
It seemed. I mean, he was lined up. That's all. It's like when you get like when there's a lightning bolt. You know, it's that one time like a campaign that a lightning is just like it's a 60-foot line.
Yeah.
Oh man, we should have gotten some Thompsons before we left. I realized with the federal government giving us some funding, we should have
Tommy guns, yeah.
No, I was just looking at them in here. I was like, oh yeah, check that out. Yeah.
Those are awesome.
If I recall correctly, like there was at least a point in time where you could just buy a BAR.
Yeah.
Which is,
Awesome.
It's like
the
it
word
has
you're looking for is awesome.
they're huge cartridges. Like a BAR will like pierce the armor of a World War I tank. They're gnarly.
No, the BAR was like like brown, like EOA. Yeah. But they were nasty because they would throw that shit really fast.
All right, so let's see if we can do the chase scene.
Yeah, we got 15 minutes.
That
was a quick back rub there, Coy.
Okay, so the intent here is going to be what? Just lose these guys so they can't follow you?
Yeah, that would be a really good intent.
No, okay,
Yeah.
just making sure.
I think it's just get into the countryside and or jungle, whatever it is.
Okay, so that's a good question. I have no idea what the countryside is.
I'm getting that Google Maps on.
There's country, there's forest, and then there's like Crocodile Dundee. Got already? There's forest, and then there's like a dry desert type.
Yeah, but I'm thinking this is in the coast, right? And the few images I'm looking, it seems pretty green.
Yeah, there's forest and grassy plains, and then inside is the desert.
All right, so yeah,
I don't know. I have no idea what the roads, if there's any.
Yeah, so I'm thinking, it's back then. It's probably. I think the first obstacle is trying to get out of here. It's gonna be difficult because there's the taxis and whatnot are coming out.
Right.
Things so. So let's just do a driving check.
Okay. Did I ever get any style points from? Do we
yes,
all get?
Yes. Let's. I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say take two each. Each of you take two.
Sure.
5 points. Yeah. Because I didn't award any before.
All right. What kind of difficulty am I going for here for?
So I'm gonna say that just getting out of here. I'm gonna say just tough. Because the Germans are scrambling and trying to get another car to follow you, but there's traffic here, so they got guns out. They're gonna commandeer a car.
Okay, yeah. In that case, I'm gonna use my style.
All right.
And
so it's 3. So
I've got 6 dice. I've got 6 dice here, so I'll just. And that is 2 successes. Oh, she's taking the average. And so what happens?
All right. So you pull out. You manage to, but by the time you pull out of the heavy traffic and start pulling into the main road, the Nazis have come into your car and they're following right behind you. So now the chase moves out into the what is the main street of this town. And you're driving down there. So I think at this point it's just a matter of, maneuvers, finding and doing anything else. Is there any shooting involved? Or just what's the intent here for this leg of the chase?
Did a
so
crack
far, they're
job
right
right
behind
there.
you. Yeah.
Complaining about my flying.
What do you do?
I look over at Farmer and said, take the egg out of the box. Take the egg out of the box.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so as soon as he takes the egg out of the box, and hold the box out the window and throw it.
Oh, that's great.
Does it laugh?
And it's awesome.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
As if the egg were in it. So it's just
That is fantastic. Do you have the con skill?
The con skill? No, not at all.
You know what?
You know
what?
No,
Think-
I was gonna say I'll play along, and I'll stick my my weapon out the window and shoot the box.
Oh, awesome. So you know what? I'm gonna treat that as assistance. So you can give him 2 extra dice to the check, and I'm gonna give you a bonus for that. Take 2 extra dice from me, and because the idea is pretty good.
Okay, well
And
that's
as a matter of fact, the Nazis have 0 successes against that. So if you just
Okay,
roll
that-
1, or if you can actually take the average, I suppose.
well, no, that's yeah. Hey, so that's let's see, so 2 dice and a negative. Yeah, so that's roll 4. So actually 2 successes if I took the average.
Nice.
You know, with all the dice I had. So yeah.
Yeah, and they have 0. So all right. So you start
But I have
pulling
no
out.
cons.
You know,
Yeah.
they stop. They stop in the middle of the street. The doors open. One of the Nazis runs for the box. You know, kneels down and he starts opens the box and looks at it and you know, and they realize what you did, and he scrambles back to the car. The car takes off against you, and I'm going to have you make a final average driving roll. You can get away.
As we're pulling away. Yeehaw!
And I think that's worth an extra style for both Coy and Joe. What's that, Joe? What did you get?
I got 2 successes. So
Okay, so
I got
that's
the
it.
average.
That's it. You know, the distraction was good enough that you know, they took them enough time. They wasted enough time checking the box that you actually managed to. Where do you head to?
The airport. Where else?
Airport. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Straight to the airport. Sure.
Oh, the Zeppelin's
So-
there. Well, we're down on shit.
No, actually, we should head for the direction of Ferguson's place.
That's 900 miles.
It's 900 miles. It's got to be a track. That's right.
But they're not here for this egg. They want to find that. They want something this egg came from. Says, son, tells the kid, why did you steal the egg?
He looks at you and you know what? You just help them. Just take this. He's you weren't meant to take the egg. The egg was meant for Ferguson.
By who?
He says,
Can we return it to him then?
no, wait. Let me think exactly what he says here. He says, Rainbow Serpent curse him, and Bayame forget his name. He was meant to take the egg, feel the wrath of the gods, not sell the egg to you.
How do we fix this? Where were you taking the egg?
Back to Ferguson. That way, the spirits will take him. He's a
Spirits?
brutal master. He's a brutal master.
1 second.
Oh, okay. Are you trying to say that this egg is cursed?
He looks at you sullenly and says, the spirits will come for him. He stole the egg.
Who
Will
would-
follow.
I'm
we
sorry.
stole the egg.
I
We stole the egg, and they will.
okay.
Wait, who will follow? We just got rid of them. Oh, that's
Spirits
different.
will take Ferguson.
Hello.
But we have to. but we have to return the egg to. Think we done?
Yeah, I have to go.
Okay. So, yeah, I'll
That's a
just
good
restate.
cliffhanger.
Yeah,
it's,
this is a great
I'll just
cliffhanger.
restate, Yeah.
Okay.
So he's saying that the egg, Ferguson having the egg would help make the spirits take Ferguson because he's a
Yeah.
horrible.
Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Very quickly down under. I love it. Never had much use for one.
Yeah. That's the idea.
I love it.
Quickly was a big inspiration, actually, because that's the that's the closest to the period.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right,
That's a great
guys.
movie.
Yep. That was good. Yeah,
Man, the dogs. I love Australia. There's dingoes and frogs and all
Dingoes
kinds
and
of animals. The Australian wildlife is something else.
Yeah. All right.
pretty
Yeah.
much
All right,
fun.
guys, that was awesome. I'm
Excellent.
gonna
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Y'all
write
have
my
a,
blog post and make a video and go to bed.
whoop, whoop.
Yeah.
Have fun. Oh, show us the outtakes too.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah, I tell you, there's some funny ones. Take it easy, guys.
All right. Take care.
Take it easy.
Thanks for
Thank
running
you.
it, Eloy.
Yeah. Welcome. Bye bye.
Where it is.
Where is the